What if I told you the idea of finding the root cause is actually what's keeping you stuck? I know it's a bold claim, but hang with me. I want to explain exactly what I mean. So I'm talking about metabolic chaos. What it is, why it makes way more sense than the root cause model for chronic health issues like IBD, fatigue, anxiety, hormone imbalances, and how this shift in thinking could unlock the progress that you've been looking for. So if you've been chasing that one thing that's wrong and feeling like you're always just one supplement, one diet, one food away from getting better, then this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Gut Fix, where we talk about all things gut health, inflammation, and how to take your power back when it feels like your body is in rebellion mode. And today's episode is one that I've been dying to record because it's something that really blew my mind when I first heard it. And it took me a little while to grasp it, but once I finally did, honestly, it changed the way I look at healing forever. And so let's start with one thing here. How many times have you said something like, if I could just figure out what's causing this fatigue? Or, I know it's just something that I ate that's causing my stomach issues. Or maybe I just want to know what the root cause is. Well, trust me, I used to say those exact same things. And I said them over and over and over for years on end. And here's the truth. Most chronic health issues don't come from one single root. They come from a tangled web of imbalances, stressors on your body, and breakdowns in communication between your body's systems. And that's what we call metabolic chaos. And it's not about where the dysfunction started. It's about how far has it spread and how is it impacting your entire system. And so when we get laser focused on just one thing, like, adrenal fatigue, for example, or candida in your gut, we often miss the big picture. So what is metabolic chaos? That is a term that was coined by D.R.E.S.S, who is the founder of FDN, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, where I got my Practitioner certification. And it describes what happens when your body gets overwhelmed by too many hidden stressors. So those hidden stressors could be things like your gut infections or food sensitivities, environmental toxins, blood sugar issues, hormone imbalances, all of those things. And what happens is that your body just can't keep up anymore. And so instead of handling these stressors like a champion, it starts to overcompensate. And then it misfires. And eventually it shuts down certain processes altogether. And you might start to feel things like constant fatigue, like you just cannot sleep enough. You might get bloating after everything that you eat. Doesn't matter what it is. That was an issue that I had. It didn't matter what I ate. I had bloating and the gas and all of the things, right? It could be brain fog, crazy mood swings. Maybe you don't have any motivation whatsoever to do anything anymore. And you used to be that type A personality that was go, go, go. Or you could be crashing, hitting that brick wall at 3 o'clock every afternoon for no apparent reason. Doesn't matter how well you slept. So if any of that sounds familiar, that's what we call metabolic chaos. and it shows up for everybody differently. But the chaos underneath is a common thread. And so how do you untangle the chaos? And how do you fix it? And no, it's not by guessing or Googling, going to Dr. Google. When I work with my clients, I don't play guess the symptom. I use functional labs to identify patterns of dysfunction. And I don't just chase one root cause. So some of my go-to tools are a GI map. Use that all the time. And it tells a lot of stuff about your gut. So it tells you if you have parasites or bacteria, too much bad bacteria, not enough good. It can tell you if you have yeast, leaky gut, inflammation, digestive enzymes. It tells you all of that stuff. So it's a very good test for the gut. Now, the Dutch test is for hormones and your adrenal function. So it can tell if your cortisol is flatlined, if it's up when it should be down or down when it should be up. And it shows if your sex hormones are out of balance. And are you detoxing those hormones properly? And then we use things like the MRT or the food sensitivity test. So even though you could be eating something that you think is healthy for you, if you have a sensitivity to it, it could be causing you a stressor in your body. And it might not be a one thing, but you combine it with all the other stressors that are happening at the same time, and that's when you get this metabolic chaos. And so these tests give us a map of that chaos, so that we can then create a very customized protocol that doesn't just treat symptoms or play whack-a-mole with those symptoms, but it actually helps to restore your function. And from there, we together build a plan based on another term coined by FDN founder Reed Davis, D.R.E.S.S for health success. And the framework consists of diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. And it's a very simple, very systematic, but also a very sustainable system and framework to help you get back on track, but also to teach you how to do it yourself from then on. Because once you know how your body reacts to things, and once you know with these tests what's going on, you can then start to work and heal yourself. That's the whole goal. And so why does all of this matter for you? So I want you to know one thing. You're not broken. You're not crazy. You're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And no, you don't have to spend the rest of your life feeling like a science experiment. What you need is a strategy, a new quote unquote root cause theory, right? Because I know how defeating it can be, and I know how it can, you start to really question yourself when your labs come back and they're all within quote unquote normal range, right? But you feel anything but normal. And you know something's not right, but the doctor's telling you, oh, but your labs are just fine. You need someone to look at your whole picture. And that's what I do. So I'd love to help you if you are dealing with some of this untangled or some of this chaos. I'd love to help you untangle it and finally start to heal from the inside out. So if this episode hit home for you, and if you've been spinning your wheels looking for answers and you're so ready for real progress, I'd love to invite you to book a free discovery call with me. We can talk about what's going on in your body, what you've tried that didn't work, and how we can map out a plan that is actually designed for you and for your body. So you can click the show notes below, or you can head over to my website, wendyhandy.com, to book your free call today. And like I said, you're not crazy. You can feel better. You can get back to where you were when you felt your best. All right, friends, until next time, I want you to trust your gut. Give yourself some grace and remember that you can feel better than you do right now if you feel badly, right? And so until next time, stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.